Forming a choir, the first name that came to me was African Gospel Choir. And where are we situated? We are situated in Dublin, so that's why we have African Gospel Choir Dublin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the African Gospel Choir Dublin.
Thank you.
African Gospel Choir Dublin, choosing the name. I've always been an artist or an individual that wants to showcase African community in a good light, in a positive light. Growing up in Nigeria as a kid, my dad was an artist and was so proud showcasing his cultural arts, designs, sculptures, paintings, which showcases the beauty of Africa. Me coming over to Ireland, I feel that Africa wasn't well represented in a positive light. And for me, I wanted to showcase Africa in a positive way. And I thought the best way I can do this is through the music. I do remember that a colleague of mine came up to me and was like, I know you're into music. I would love you to perform at my friend's wedding. I was like, no, that would be a good idea. I can bring some people together. My wife sings, and we have a few friends that sing as well. And we brought ourselves together and we're like, okay, these are the songs we're gonna sing. We'll learn the song. And the first performance, the wedding, was absolutely wonderful. I was like, we can do this.
I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more.
Music was my way of expressing myself. I think my dad used art to express himself, sculpture, paintings to express himself. And myself, I remember first encounter with an instrument was I went to his office because he worked in the university, and I saw a straight piano in there, and I was like, oh, probably I was around 6'5", and I just jumped on it and I was just making a lot of noise. I was a nuisance then, but that was where the interest picked up from. And over time, I started picking up each instrument one after the other, started developing myself musically, listening to songs, listening to other singers, musicians, choirs in church, and I just developed myself as a musician. My role as the music director in a choir is to score out parts for the vocals sections in the choir, and also to arrange the music for the choir. Also assisting me in the choir is my wife Tomilola. She's the choir director, and she deals with the members of the choir. So when I score the songs and have the music ready, I pass it over to her. She listens to the parts to make sure that we have a perfect arrangement for the songs. Then she goes to the vocal part leads and give the songs to them. They work on the songs to make sure that every section knows their part.
In terms of my background and how that has really infused into the modes and modalities of the choir and how it's been, run. So I'm the choir director of the choir, and I grew up in a home where my mom was the choir director in our church back home in Nigeria. My dad was a choir member as well while he was in his own church. So in our homes on Saturday morning, he's singing. I'm singing alto with him. My mom is singing treble. We're all singing while we're cleaning, cooking. So our home has been a very musical home. So that's been my background from the age of 2. Right from a young age, between the age I remember of 6 and 12, I was very heavily into music. I was also in the children's choir growing up. So you can understand why the choir element has been something that has really been a part of me. So coming into Ireland, looking at the space and thinking, oh, I can't really see a choir that I can. Not that there wasn't any choir in Ireland, but in terms of a choir that really shows the Western part of Africa, not only Western, but the whole African continent in general. And so when the opportunity came, I was like, yes, let's do this. And here we are.
Amazing.
Well, one more time. I'll say any. I'll say any. Amazing. Hi. You guys were supposed to sing like grace.
Choir influences. To be honest, when I think of choir influence, I would say my main choir would be my choir back in Nigeria. And another choir that really captured my heart was the Soweto Gospel Choir.
Somebody's crying, Lord. Somebody's trying, Lord. Somebody's praying, Lord. Oh, Lord.
We sang Kumbaya. And Soweto Gospel Choir was the first choir that I heard sing that song, really, really captivating. And I was able to teach the choir that song. We put our own spiel on it a little bit. What drew me to them mostly is their ability to show the African culture in a very pure way, and especially through the way of faith, being gospel. In terms of choir, Soweto Gospel Choir will be one, and then Brooklyn Tabernacle Gospel Choir, Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir as well. Was a choir that I really admired. One of the songs they did was Thou, O Lord. And, I said, African Gospel Choir has to do the song. And yeah, we did.
Are a shield for me, my glory and the lifter of my.
When I say choir, I'm talking about, having loads of people who look the same. They sound unison. When they open their mouth to sing, it sounds like it's just one single person singing. And that's what the choir is all about. And then being African just takes it to the next level, because you're able to come with that soul, that energy, and that vibe that just thrills the audiences and just wants them to. It leaves them wanting more. Yes.
I joined the choir in 2011. I was very, very young, and I remember the audition and the excitement around it. But just to answer your question, it was 2011. Yeah. So my favorite memory, there's so many, but the one that I'm going to focus on is 2023. Oba Nla, ministering pariwo with the choir. For me, that's fantastic for me. I enjoyed myself on that stage with the choir, and the rehearsals leading up to that was also fantastic. I still remember the first time we sang that song at, is it Jesus Center? I can't remember, RCG, the auditorium, just random, and we sang in, I think it was like reggae version or something, and so it made me so excited to now, minister that song for Oba Nla 2023, and that was a highlight. My family were in front. My mom, her dancing was with her hat. My dad was there, and that was the year I literally just came back from getting engaged as well. So it was huge. So many great things. So that would be my highlight. My favorite memory of the choir. Yeah. There's so many great things linked to AGC. I guess, like I mentioned, that one of the huge things is me getting married, but I've also graduated. I've graduated while in AGC. I've moved while in AGC. I've relocated while in AGC. I've got a great paying job while in AGC. And so many great I guess, milestones, in the choir and everything. So what it means to me is change and growth. I've never remained in the same place while in the choir. And it means also light as well, not just when I come, to the choir for rehearsals, with people. There's so much life in us, and I know that when I'm there, I know that what we're working on is also bringing light to other people, So I'll say what agency to me is light, it's growth, it's memories, it's building something greater, bigger than ourselves, So I don't take it lightly.
I joined AGCD in December of 2023, and funny enough, I joined because of Esther. So I remember I was telling Esther that I was looking for a community because I grew up in the choir when I was younger, and I kind of fell out of that. And I was looking for a community of people, who enjoyed God, who loved God, and who wanted to worship, because I really enjoy worshiping. Some people are great at prayers, reading the Bible, but for me, worshiping is my thing. It's where I feel connected to God the most. And yeah,
I invited her, but then I even got invited from someone called Peace. She's someone that was an ex AGC member, and then we went for Bala concert together. I remember we were just there, and I was like, you should definitely join. She's like, yeah, okay. And then she just picked up her phone at that moment and just applied. So we came in the same time, December 2023. What about you, John?
So for me, in my case, in my own church, I always played the instruments, and I never really was able to show my singing ability, But then I got the opportunity because one time I was just in Trinity, just vibing to myself, singing to myself. Then I'm pretty sure it was actually Sam and Muna.
Of course, it's Sam.
It was Sam and Muna that came upon me actually singing, and then they saw my ability and just asked if I want to have an opportunity.
just with some of the events that we go to where we're ministering, the feedback that we get from people, or just the things that people come up and say to us after when they hear our voice and, they hear the songs that we're singing, we're talking about God and they're feeling it as well. I feel all of that makes it worth it. You almost want to clear your schedule. No, I don't want to go to work. I'm going to go to this event so I can minister, I feel we all feel that way. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, very, very good. The harmonies are superb.
It is amazing. This is a touch of excellence.
I'm loving how we're moving to Africa. We've gone to America, we're coming back to Africa. It's been great.
Tonight is amazing. It's one of the best concerts I've been to be honest.
For me, I was obviously when it came to joining the choir, I was obviously expecting the discipline, and the order, But I would say that the first day I came, I was very shocked to see how free everyone was, and seeing that I could also just vibe with the people here. I was very shocked seeing especially the uncle and the auntie just vibe with everyone, because you know how uncle and aunties are usually in this generation. But it was just nice to see. It was just nice to see, just how free they were, So yeah, it allowed me to open up, be more confident in my voice, and just be more confident as well when it came to professing ideas that I might have,
That spirit of unity, that oneness, that togetherness that we have as a family and as a team is what helps us to do everything that we can to the best of our ability, to be as efficient as possible, and again, to spread the gospel to as many people as we can.
My favorite thing would be the Christmas getaways, because I don't know, it's just nice to come together at the end of the year after we've done so much, we've had different gigs, and just come together and really just enjoy time as a family and reflect on what we've done throughout the year, reflect on talk about what we want to do in the next year. I remember our last one, I think we watched our Oba Nla videos and just all commented on what we liked and what we didn't like, and I think that was in the middle of when we had just done Bad Santa, which is when people give people bad Christmas presents, but obviously it's a surprise, so you don't know if it's good or bad.
And I think you had to really pinpoint the family aspect. I think we really do things as a family. We eat together, we laugh together, we sing together. My personal favorite memory is karaoke at the getaways. I feel like I'm the champion at karaoke. I just think we really do things as a family. That's the main thing I really get from this choir, is that we really are a family. Things that you do with your parents or your siblings is what we do as a choir. So yeah. And speaking of family, we are a choir. We have different, roles within the choir. We have tenor, we have alto, we have treble, which are our vocal parts, and we also have different teams as well, such as the PR team, the admin team, and we all work together to perform different roles within the choir.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, even with those different roles, we all have one goal. Like, there's still one goal at the end of the day, whether that's in a gig to spread the message of Christ and to just bring that joy to people, or if it's with, let's say, our photo shoots or our video shoots, we want everything to go as smoothly as possible. So we have different people organizing different aspects so that we could come together and all achieve that one goal.
Remember our first ever robe?
Yeah, the kente uniform.
Exactly, yes. It was in the form of a blouse, something similar to what I was wearing. And yes, it had the orange, kind of the green, the black, different colors. And what I loved about it was everyone had their sewn a little bit different. We had the ruffles right in the middle. And I remember when we all wore it, it just gave us that feeling of, wow, something is about to start, something is about to happen now. So what we intended to do was to kind of change our uniform as the year went along, and we were doing that in line with Oba Nla concert, which, my husband Adini Alatilo, our music director of choir names, and we would sing at that concert and we would change our uniform. I remember one of my friends from work came and she said, you guys were just like mini soldiers, especially because we're all in uniform and kind of ready to go for it. It was one of our beautiful outfits that I really loved. It made us really stand out. And I think after that, that's when we went for the role. Okay. Yeah. So the same friend of mine that were like, oh, you're a little soldier. She said, it would be nice if, she had kind of inspired me and said, it would be nice if you guys had a uniform so people can see something to identify you with rather than you changing it every single year. And I thought, oh, that's actually a great idea. What could we do? Since we're an African Gospel Choir, we can use a robe in, a choir, and then infuse it with kente. So we went with kente, the same color we used the very first time we started, which is like, it's a bit of orangey, kind of color, brown and things. And that's what we're wearing now. And when people see that robe anywhere, they easily associate it with the African Gospel Choir. So I think it was just a beautiful transition. And it's nice to see that where we started from, there's a bit of that element in our robes that we have now.
Loves me so.
I remember the first album we did was Jesus Loves Me. Actually, I just moved my studio because I was renting a place and I had a studio mini office where I teach people and I also do a bit of recording. I just moved it to our house then in Bedstown, and I had a little studio in the house and we got the choir over to do a sleepover.
It was not just a sleepover. I think we were there for like the whole weekend.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we were there for the whole weekend. So imagine having those crowds. Yeah, it was a lovely time. We had barbecue. We had, people going into the studio, coming out somewhere watching. And we had the football. There was a
World Cup. I think there was a World Cup, but there was a European tournament going on at that time. So.
I think Nigeria was playing or something like that. And we were all sitting down watching it. I'm like, yes, go! I remember, that's when we did the first album and we did the launch. We were privileged to use our church. Shout out to
Sanctuary for All Nations.
We were privileged to use our church then, and it was lovely. And I think after that,
I remember that we did a collaboration with Tolu McKay and Enda.
Yes, we went to the Windmill Studio in Dublin to record the song. And it was a beautiful experience. It was the greatest gift, wasn't it?
Greatest gift, I remember. And I remember that you guys went on to the radio station as well.
Yeah, to promote the song. Yeah, we went to Tolu and Enda, actually. Yeah, that was fun times. And also the London African Gospel Choir.
I think we've done 2 collaborations now.
Yeah, actually. The National Concert Hall. Yeah, we've done that with them. We did it this year, 2025, and we did it in 2023 as well. And Toshin and the Sugar Clubs, Aretha Franklin, that was fun.
That was good. Bringing actually gospel music into the Sugar Club was really exciting. It was good, Also, I remember with my very good friend Ono Peter
Jeremy,
where we all got fluid out, you know. African Gospel Choir Dublin is a family. It's a community. What are the names now we give it? It's just like brothers, sisters,
it's
daughters,
space to be creative. A space for young minds to grow.
Yeah.
It's a fertile ground. I said you come in there and take on a project, do something. I've grown with the choir myself, just taking on different elements of it.
Yeah.
And I think the same for a lot of people, they can say that. And for me, one of our main mission is to draw people closer to God through our music. And so that defines us as Misraels, like we're ministers or Misraels. And for you to be able to minister to people, which this choir has given us the opportunity to go to places that you won't generally just walk in there and say, God is good, God, I've brought this good news to you, accept Jesus into your life. But in a subtle way, we've been able to just leave the presence of God with people. We mentioned, going into the Sugar Club to sing gospel music there, so bringing it into people.
Yeah.
And as a result, we need to ensure that we're growing in faith ourselves. So it's very important for us. And that's why the virtual rehearsal, we use it for an opportunity for us to study the Bible together, to pray together, to understand what it means to be a child of God, and also not only a child of God, but a minister in music of God, because we carry that light. We have fun, we smile, but we need to remember that there's something in us that we need to kind of share and bring out to people, and that's Jesus in us to the world through our music. So it's important for us to always kind of refill ourselves with the Word of God. So that's something that I think is quite unique to our choir, and that also makes us grow stronger in faith, as well as in music, as well as in family, because we also do team bonding every quarter.
Apart from that, we've done like fun days that when we play football, everyone
family fun day, you bring your family together, get to meet
we
them.
bring in some food. Actually, we even go on retreats together.
Yes.
Hi MTV, welcome to my crib, our first common room. In here we have Auntie Tommy and Femi. Well, lads, say hello to MTV. Hi. Hello, Auntie Femi. With my name, this is MTV. We have our dining room and our lovely Christmas tree. We have our beautiful, what's it called again? Kitchen. That's the word. Uncle Chef it up. Say hello, Uncle, to MTV.
What's starting? And what has grown apart from our robes is our youngest member, our daughter, Kishi Allen Taylor. Hey, Kishi.
Others are gonna pray your kingdom down. Any mother's praying, oh my mothers, they're gonna pray your kingdom.
My mom and my dad are the music director and choir director, so I had the privilege of experiencing AGC from an early age, before I can even remember. And growing up in the choir would involve me just wanting to join in and experience the life that was in it and the community that was in it also. I remember when I was younger, I would grab chairs and hop on top of them and try singing to the mic and replicate different parts. First ever gig I had the opportunity of experiencing with AGCD was the Festival of Families. Back in 2018, when Pope Francis came to Ireland, there was a whole festival with around 70,000 people from different places around the world even coming to celebrate faith and family and that sense of community. But I also do remember another special gig that I think has stuck with me for a while. So last summer, we had the opportunity to sing at the President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins' garden party. I was definitely thrilled, to say the least, because it was something that I was so excited to experience, and it was so memorable.
I would say that our leaders, our choir director and the music director, they inspire me a lot and they empower us. I think everyone in AGC has something to do. You can't just come to the choir and say there's nothing you're doing. So tell me we're not lying. So I think that helps us to like work on ourselves. I remember one of the things they said is that when you join ADC, you have to take something from it. So I remember also when I got the secretary job, it also helped me to get another job outside. With the experience I gained from working as secretary as AGC and my science background, I was able to get a job as a medical secretary. And I have here with me one of our newest members, Dumsile. Say hi.
Hi, my name is Dumsile. I recently joined the choir AGCT, and I'm currently happy to be part of this family. It's an interesting family. I can say they are loving, they are caring, and I believe they will help me to improve in my music. And because I take music as a ministry to preach the gospel to the world. So this is the right place for me to do that.
Oba Nla.
Oba Nla.
Oba Nla.
Oba Nla.
Oba Nla. Oba Nla concert is a concert that was put together by myself in 2009 to showcase gospel music from an African perspective. So we wanted to be able to showcase the love of Christ through our music, through our culture, through our tradition. The Yoruba tradition, from where I come from in Nigeria, is very rich in harmony, in dancing, and even our language is made from the sulfur. So in Yoruba, you have the do, re, mi. Even when we speak, we communicate with music. The choir's involvement in the concert since the inception in 2009 has been phenomenal. Actually, the first time they performed, I only thought they were going to perform once and probably we'll get another choir. All right. But the first time they performed the choir, they brought a very rich element of Africanism into the concert. And we're like, definitely we're keeping the choir. And since then, they've been an integral part of Oba Nla concerts. So I would say when you mention Oba Nla concerts and you mention Adeni Alintelo, definitely you have to mention African Gospel Choir.
We start off the morning around 9 a.m. We then get our first bands, which give us access into and outside of the venue itself. After that, we're then provided with a full Irish breakfast. So we're very full and very happy to get onto stage. We just make sure we don't eat too much dairy because it actually messes up our vocal cords. It provides a bit of too much of mucus, which is a little bit of science there for you. So after that, we then start getting ready. We'd go steam our robes. The girls would occupy most of the changing room, whereas the boys, we'd have like a little corner to, try to, tie our shoelaces, do as much as we can do with the little space that we have anyway. But after we get our robes and everything ready, we then go onto the stage for our sound check. We make sure that we sound very well with the band. We make sure that the music director is happy with everything. And we just make sure that we put the final tweaks on the songs. They're really, really important as well. After that, we just wait around for a bit before the actual performance starts around 6 p.m. And then we're ready to roll. And it usually turns out very, very well. And we're always happy with it. Ooh, the lights can be blinding, but we thank God, my God is brighter. So I'm very used to, seeing the bright stage lights and everything. And it's really exciting because sometimes when you're singing, if you look at the facial expressions, you can never really read people in the moment in time. So sometimes it's actually kind of good to get distracted and look into the lights because it removes all the inhibitions and fears.
I did a bit of a spoken words. I just read a write-up that I wrote specially for Oba Nla. It was very interesting to write because I had to infuse the music, the songs we were singing in it, and it was very, very exciting. I liked it. And it had a bit of hope. It spoke about hope and people having to turn back to God. And it was very, very emotional for me because at that moment, I think I was having a bit of a moment. So, yeah.
So my vision for the future for African Gospel Choir, gosh, it's so vivid, I can see it. And one of it is in Ireland, there are a lot of young people that are of African descent. Some of them have not really been back to Africa. Some of them have only been there once or twice. And so one part of being in the African Gospel Choir, I try to make sure I speak the language to people. And people speak the language, we teach the language, people learn the language, they learn the culture, they learn how to dress in the African ways. It's another way of infusing people's heritage with them, even though they're, abroad in diaspora. And it's a way of carrying who they are, because to be honest, your identity is very important. And so your identity as a Black person, as an African person, is very important to all that. And so what could bring people who are like-minded like that together, people who look like that together, people who want to learn more about their culture, but they're not close to home. To say, when I say home, I mean they're not close to Africa, because obviously we're in Europe, here in Ireland, Dublin. And the choir gives them that opportunity to come in and be in their own mini Africa and be able to grow their heritage and pass that over to their children. So in terms of the impact, is for them to know who they are as Africans, to be proud of where they come from, to keep carrying that torch and pass it over to their children and their children's children. And so that's something I want the choir to live with them. And also, not only just the African heritage, but also doing it in faith, because we know that we're here to not only just make better things of our own self, our lives, and improve our lives, but also to give back, and to give back by sharing the good news, and also to let them know, like, we are foreigners. We're not just here to take your jobs. We're not just here to take the space, but we're here to also give back. And if that means sharing the good news and sharing the light and bringing our own African heritage and bringing it to you, for you to kind of understand who we are and speaking the same language, which is music.
I believe African Gospel Choir is just starting out. I still see us filling our stadiums for performances, going abroad, being flew out again, maybe to the States or to different parts of the world, and to bring the good news through our music to people. So I believe this is just the beginning, and I see a community that keeps growing, and that is going to outlive myself and outlive even us. It's going to be for generations to come to fly this banner, even when we are far gone.